21 things that I have learned about my world of photography in 2021. Hi everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm McEvoy and this is what I'm writing about on my blog this week and talking about on my YouTube channel. It's not one of your standard end of year reviews of I've done this, I've done that, blah blah blah. No, this is just things that I've thought about that I wanted to put together. So let's just see what they are. Number one, photography is, in fact, I'm not going to go through the list. I'm going to go through the list and talk about them a little bit each in turn, okay? Number one, photography is alive and well. Well, it's been a difficult year for all of us, but photography is still there. It's still thriving. I think next year is going to be a difficult first half with everything else going on, but I think there are signs of optimism for the future, so I think we should all remain optimistic. Okay, as my mouse is struggling to work. The proliferation of online photos seems to know no bounds and continues to grow. Now, you might see this as a bad thing, but I think it's a good thing because if the number of photos being published online was reducing, that could mean that photography was in decline. But no, it's still going on all over the place, which has to be a good thing. Number two, photography snobbery is alive and well. So much so that I created a page all about it on my website called Photography Snobbery, which you can get to at rickmcavoyphotography.com/photography-snobbery. Okay, so what am I talking about here? Well, let me give you some examples. These are things I've actually heard people say. Yes, this is true. If you wear the camera neck strap that comes with your camera, you look stupid. No, you don't. You must use manual mode to be a proper photographer. No, you don't. This kind of thing. It's these people telling you what you have to do. Oops, just hit me cup there. See, this gets me. It really does wind me up. This is people giving you uninformed, polarised instructions on things when they're A, it's not their place to tell you what to do, and B, they are wrong. There's more than one way of doing things, okay? So photography snobbery, I hate it. What we should be doing is encouraging people to enjoy photography and be able to learn without having things forced on them. To be able to ask genuine questions and get genuine help, not someone saying, you must do this. I hate it. Talking of which, number three, people knee-jerk on social media. Now, I've recently made it onto Facebook, so you can't rush these things. And somebody asked a question of how do I remove something from a photo because I'm really struggling with it and it's causing me lots of problems. So what I said was, well, for the next time you take this kind of photo, position your camera in a different way so you don't have the problem. This is perfectly good, solid, actionable advice, and that's what I'm all about. But you know what? Somebody jumped on it straight away saying, you haven't answered the question, you shouldn't be, and it was quite awful. So I just did reply to this person saying, I'm awfully sorry, but I'm just trying to get some advice for the next time. And it was like, no, they asked how do you remove this and you haven't answered it, this is a such and such a form. And it was like, blimey, there might be a reason why I've not been on Facebook before. So, that's a bit of a shocker. Number four, I know quite a lot of stuff. Well, it appears I do know rather a lot of photography stuff, which is a nice confirmation. I've been doing this for well over 30 years, so I guess I should do, but I'm saying this because of the feedback I've received from my podcast, the Photography Explained podcast. Yeah, completely intentional plug, yeah, why not? And from blog readers, and also a surprising number of comments on my YouTube channel. So, yeah, I've learned quite a lot and I appear to be getting better at sharing it with other people and helping them. Number five, I can do new stuff if I just do it. 2020, I started my podcast. It's still going. I'm still cranking out the episodes week after week and I'm loving it. I genuinely am enjoying it. I really like doing it. I'm I'm trying to be a bit more outgoing because I think I've been a little bit too laid back. So yeah, coming up in the next episodes of the podcast, I'll be a bit more me. Okay, I didn't want to scare people off at the beginning, I think. But I've also created a course, How to Become a Real Estate Photographer. Plug number 2, check out rickmcavoyphotography.com/courses and you will find a page all about this course because it's the first one I've done. Now, I've spent a lot of time thinking about this and how am I going to make money from my photography passively when I'm not out doing shoots and when you can't get out and do shoots and what have you. And this was one of the things I came up with, and I've actually done it. And I was dreading doing it, I'm not going to lie to you. The prospect was quite scary, but I got my setup sorted with a number of fleeces, hoodies and a duvet jacket for acoustic absorption. Got a light. That light there. You can see the reflection. There you go. It's a circular light. It's actually quite effective and I'd be quite impressed for 35 quid. Thank you, Amazon. And I just did it. And having done it, I watched a bit of it and thought, actually, I'm not happy with that. I'm not happy charging people money for that. So do you know what I did? I re-recorded the whole thing and I was happy with it. And someone's bought it. They paid me good money for it and they said it's a good course, so check it out. Number 6, practice really does make, well, not quite perfect, but certainly better. Okay, speaks for itself. Number 7, I still don't need Photoshop apart from removing stuff. Pitchforks at the ready. I don't like Photoshop. It's too complicated. I am happy in Lightroom. I go into Photoshop to remove things. If Lightroom had the clone stamp tool and the spot healing brush tool, I wouldn't need Photoshop. There, I've said it. Shoot me down if you want to. Let's move on quick. Number 8, I take less photos, but the low's better. That's been an improvement over a number of years. Number 9, composition is still king. It's still the most important thing in a photo. What you put in the photo is the most important thing. It's more important than anything else. Now, obviously, you've got to get the focus right. You've got to get the exposure right. You've got to get the depth of field right. But it's what you're photographing. That is the important thing, okay? Number 10, I don't need a new, anything. That's software, gear, anything. What I've got works just fine. New things are a no-no for me unless they, 1, help me take better photos, 2, help me get photos that I can't get now, and 3, save me time or money or both. Number 11, my camera does not really matter. Now, I love my Canon 6D, and I've got nothing against my Canon 6D, but I also have an Olympus AM5 which takes great photos, and people can't tell the difference if I'm being brutally honest with you, so the camera doesn't matter. It's what you do with it and how you do it that matters, okay? RAW versus JPEG. You must shoot in RAW. Well, not really. I shoot my commercial stuff in RAW because I want the control over everything, but when it comes to personal stuff, I'm starting to move. I've only just started to move, let's be honest with you, into shooting with JPEG and accepting the processing done in camera and the fact I haven't got all the funkiness of RAW stuff, but it's what you're doing with the photos that matters, and for what I'm doing with the photos, it doesn't matter. Now, I did one commercial shoot a couple of years ago and I forgot to... I had an Olympus EM1 as a loan camera from Olympus. Thank you, Olympus. Please send me one for good. It was wonderful, but this would never happen with my Canon 6D, I need to say. But I forgot to set it to RAW. So when I got the photos into Lightroom, they're all JPEGs. And it was a commercial shoot for a repeat client. And nobody noticed. Nobody knows. Nobody knows which shoot it is I'm talking about. And the people who have the photos do not know any different. So does it really matter? What's next? Social media is not that important. Or is it? Well, it depends really. But one thing I have noticed is if I promote a blog post or a podcast episode on social media, I get more watches, more visits. So it does have a purpose, unfortunately. Not a big fan, let's be honest with you, but hey ho. 14, I'm still struggling to talk. When I'm recording my podcast, I've recorded 100 episodes. 100 times I have said the same things at the beginning and I still have to read them off a script. And in an episode about composition, I guarantee I will say composition incorrectly at some point. Don't know why. Number 15. Does a photo have to be technically perfect if you like it? Possibly controversial. The strict answer is yes. But the probably more honest answer is, really? I wrote an email about this to my email subscribers last week, asking this very question, because there's a photo that I've always liked that I did, but when I revisited it, there were dust spots everywhere, and there was all sorts wrong with it, but it was still a really, really pleasing photo. So it's something to think about. Niching down works, or niching down, depending where you are when you're watching this and how you say the words. Yeah, I've spent years trying to be all things to all people, and when I concentrated on architectural, construction and real estate photography, things changed and made life so much easier for me. So if you're struggling to be everything to all people, be one thing to the people who want one thing, and you'll make life easier for yourself. 17, being your own brand makes sense. You're unique. Your USP is you. My USP is me. I know, that's as good as it gets for me, so sympathy please. How many photos... Now, I've written this and I've not noticed it until I'm reading it out. How many photos do people look at not on a device? What? How many photos do people look at which is not on a device, as in a print or something else? Not many. I'm going to move on from that. Black Friday's rubbish. I just hate it. Sorry, I had to get that one in there. Number 20. My website's rubbish. Every morning I wake up to emails from people telling me my website's rubbish. That they can do this, that and the other to make me more found on Google. They can upgrade my website. They can make it look better. They tell me you are not ranking in Google for keywords. Really? My website's my pride and joy, and I work so hard on it, so do not tell me my website's rubbish, because it's not that bad. 21. Sticking to things pays. Stick to one thing and do it before you move on to the next one. I won't say this has changed my life, but it's made me much more efficient. Rather than doing all these things, I now have a to-do list with one thing on, the most important thing. Do that and then move on to the next thing, which then becomes the most important thing. See, doing one thing at a time, it works. Trust me. Right, I'm done. Thanks for watching. If you're still with me after 13 minutes, fair play to you. Thanks for watching. Check out rickmcavoyphotography.com for lots of good stuff. Check out the Photography Explained podcast on the... I was doing so well there, wasn't I? And please check out my small but perfectly formed podcast, Photography Explained Podcast, with its own website, photographyexplainedpodcast.com. Right, before I make any more mistakes, I am out of here, so thanks for watching and I will see you on the next video. Cheers from me, Rick.